Happy Devils April Fool's Saturday in the Saturday morning of the Woo Report. The Woo Report, episode 303, titled, Will the Devils be in first place after this weekend? Yes! Something to get up on an early Saturday morning, April 1st, April Fool's Day. Streaming live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitter Live, and Twitch on the Let's Go Devils Network. Coming to you live from the Primetime Radio Studios bunker after being at American Whiskey for the past few podcasts. Enjoying myself right now. The Woo Report, says Max. Shane Van Sickle says, what's up, Sammy? I see people on Twitter Live. Shout out to you folks. Also on Facebook Live as well. You can follow us on Facebook at Let's Go Devils Podcast, on Twitter at Let's Go Devils Pod, and our YouTube channel, Let's Go Devils. So Let's Go Devils it is, as the Devils head over to Chicago, where Vinny Parisi is, and Winnipeg this weekend, while the Carolina Hurricanes, who the Devils are chasing after, they play two games as well against Montreal Canadiens and then the New York Islanders at home in Raleigh on Sunday. And it could very well be that the Devils will be in first place after this weekend, only trailing the Carolina Hurricanes by 1 point, with Carolina having one game in hand. And we will be scoreboard watching. It's that time of year, folks. And just remember, it's been a long time since the Devils have been relevant. This time of year, you know it, I know it. We'll be watching multiple games on TV or streaming them on your mobile devices. It is going to be a fun ride from here till April 13th when we do our live, Game Day Live, and Devils After Dark at Stagehouse Tavern, beautiful Mountainside, New Jersey, 1099 Route 22 eastbound side. Arlette will be performing as well. Just to let you know about the last game of the season, a watch party where the Washington Capitals take on your New Jersey Devils. And Max is asking, did you say that Vinny is going to be going to the game tonight? Yes, he will be going to the game. He's going to have an abbreviated appearance on Game Day Live before the game. I don't know what time Game Day Live will be. And then also we have Devils After Dark after the game. Tonight's game and Sunday as well. The only preemption we have is the Let's Go Devils Podcast Sunday edition, the 9 p.m. Sunday edition, obviously with the game going on. Josh S. says, Sam, WTF, it's 7:45 a.m., LOL. Well, you know what? Happy April Fools, all right? I get excited about Devils hockey. I woke up at 4:15 a.m., all pumped up after what happened last Thursday. Yeah, I have all that energy right now because why? Because the Devils are going into the playoffs and with the chance of getting home ice advantage in the first round, as playoff tickets allegedly are going on sale, the individual tickets this upcoming Friday. Get those tickets. Make sure they do not fill the building, meaning the opposing team. Because if the Devils get this home ice advantage, it will bode well, in my opinion, for the rest of the way. But will the Devils be in first place after this weekend? Well, they play the Chicago Blackhawks, who Jonathan Taves reportedly is coming back for that game. As the Chicago Blackhawks, I believe, have a 7-game losing streak. But this game, I would say this game would be a trap game. You saw what happened last time when the Devils played a so-so team. They lost. It was about a week ago. I forgot who the Devils played, but None too pleased about that. I think it was the Buffalo Sabres. But then again, the Buffalo Sabres yesterday played the New York Rangers. And let me tell you about that story as well. Sabres actually having a 2-0 lead against the New York Rangers. But the Rangers came back. They gained the point going into overtime, but the Sabres sealed the deal. So, you know what? I wanted the Rangers to get nothing. Zilch. Nada. But the Sabres at least held off and saved that point for themselves, and the Sabres eventually beat the New York Rangers 3-2 in overtime. If you didn't see that game last night, the Winnipeg Jets, who the Devils will be playing tomorrow, Sunday night, which will be that could be the game that the Devils springboard ahead of the Carolina Hurricanes. But they got to take care of business tonight against Chicago. We'll go over the details and save the details for the Chicago Blackhawks for Game Day Live tonight. But the Jets, 6-2 victory over the Red Wings. Also, I'd like to thank the Red Wings for beating Carolina in regulation. On Thursday, which was definitely a nice gift for the New Jersey Devils, because the Carolina Hurricanes, again, are in the midst of a 3-game losing streak, and they get nothing, zilch, nada, as the Devils got the 2 solid points against the New York Rangers on Thursday. Also, just, it's this time of year, folks, and Max is also saying that to annex Canada as well, Devils are breaking records, and they're just rolling right now. And how are they getting there? It's the Beefalytics that is getting them there, okay? Timo Meier is now really gotten used to his teammates. Timo Meier is throwing the body around. Timo Meier scoring the game-winning goal, the power play goal against the New York Rangers. And I'll tell you what, Timo Meier is now finally settling in as one of your New Jersey Devils. And I'll tell you what, it took 6 games to really get going. I'll never let that down. And I will tell you that, well, I'll tell you this. What about Palat? And I will say it again. I said it yesterday's Woo Report. Palat, defending his own teammate, Dawson Mercer. Now, I'm not saying goon it up, because sometimes in the past when I've been complaining about the Beefalytics of this team for the last few years, and we talk about the NFZ, remember that? The no-fun zone. The Devils are protecting the no-fun zone on both ends of the ice. And seeing Palat defend Dawson Mercer, the young kid that's going to get picked on, it is a deterrence. I love watching a team come together. A team that is optimized, plays great defense, plays for each other, and team chemistry exponentializes when you play for the guy right next to you, not for the people in the stands. That's what I'm talking about. Anybody that's played hockey or any kind of organized sports, you don't play for the people in the stands. You play for the person next to you. And that's what's happening with your New Jersey Devils right now, which gives me optimism to be up at 7:51 a.m. right now, Eastern, in the morning to do this wonderful programming called the Woo Report. It gets you all fired up. I got all this pent-up energy right now. Devils fans are waiting to explode. Devils fans want to see winning because they deserve it. Also, Ryan Graves, have you noticed that he's been mixing it up as well? Ryan Graves, using his size as well. And what a save that he did the other night. And I'll tell you, Vitek Vanacek, I know I'll still stick with it. I love Akira Schmid, but Vanacek right now is now peaking at the right time. And we will see how good Mackenzie Blackwood is, because you would assume that Mackenzie Blackwood will play one game of this back-to-back on the road. And for Mac Black, the 1A and 1B, it's imperative he would get a win, assuming it's tonight. I'm assuming that Vitek Vanacek is playing Sunday, while Mac Black is playing tonight against the Chicago Blackhawks. Again, if you haven't heard, Jonathan Toews is apparently coming back. Jonathan Toews out for a while. It's kind of troubling. You know, he's still battling the effects of COVID, long COVID, is what they say, and had to take some time off. Jonathan Toews has been one of my favorite players. You know, somehow Ray Shero picked Jordan Staal over Jonathan Toews in that draft, but I'm not going to harp on it too much. But Jonathan Toews is a great leader, great centerman, and Vinny Parisi could attest to that, and it's good to see him back. But I just hope that whoever's in goal and, you know, the Devils' defense, I hope they hold him to nothing, but it's good to see him put the skates back on. And, Shane Van Sickle says, Graves has started to realize that Ryan Graves is beefier than most players. Yeah, and how about Kevin Ball? Kevin Ball, I love this defense right now. I love it. I love Luke Hughes to get his feet wet as well, but we can't help it that Michigan had won over Penn State. But you know what? Remember a couple years ago, I talked about the beef?
Hey, where's the beef?
I talked about the beef and that they were the problems of the New Jersey Devils. Well, I think there's still some work to be done. I think those days are over. I think those days are almost over. What they did on Thursday confirmed to me that this team is on the up and up, because that was a big game last Thursday against the New York Rangers. That was a playoff game. The playoffs started unofficially a couple days ago. The Devils need to surge now for first place. First place will put the Devils in position to go further in the playoffs. You just don't want to play a rival like the New York Rangers in the first round, because if you can get past them, second, third round, it's going to be tough. You know, you got to, you know, that's a heck of a matchup there. That's an Eastern Conference Finals game right from the get-go. And, yeah. It's not that I'm afraid of the New York Rangers. I think the Devils can hang with any team in the NHL, especially in the Western Conference. And the Devils, they need to get 4 solid points this weekend. And if there's a time to make a surge, it's now. And think about it, folks. It's kind of like if you ever watch auto racing, NASCAR or Formula One. You know, you're just in second, third place for most of the race. But the last lap is in April. Between now, April 1st, through April 13th. You try to get as many points as possible and try to lock up the division. You lock up the division, it bodes well throughout the playoffs, especially, I mean, you would be the second seed. The second seed behind Boston. And that's important. That's extremely important because Boston's having this unbelievable regular season, already clinching the President's Trophy before the month of April. But to be the second seed, I mean, if it wasn't for Boston, the Devils would be number one in the entire NHL, all 32 teams. The Devils can hang with these teams because their speed is lightning. Their speed kills. And now they're maturing. And Jack Hughes has weapons around him. You don't have to ride Jack Hughes all 82 games. Timo Meier, you've got your sniper right now. Remember the Tarasenko rumors of a few years ago and any other snipers that would come to the New Jersey Devils? You've got that sniper in Timo Meier. You've also got a great captain in Nico Hischier that basically was handed the captaincy at such a young age, but now he's got his veterans around him. Eric Halla is stepping it up. Remember Eric Halla, all the complaints about Eric Halla, why is he on the team? And same goes with Palat. They're showing up right now. Have you noticed that? Let me ask the Facebook Live and YouTube Live. Have you noticed that? Eric Halla and Andre Palat, Mikey McLeod, playing pretty well. Definitely. Ted says, if you're not first, you're last, Ricky Bobby. Or what was that in Days of Thunder, I think? Second place is the first place loser. And I believe that. But sometimes I believe first is worse and second is best. Max is excited about the game up in Boston. It's going to be hopefully intense. It has to be. It has to be. Because you're looking at the top two teams in the league. Forget about the Eastern Conference. And I'll tell you, the playoffs have already arrived unofficially. And I'll beat a dead horse and say that every game matters right now for your New Jersey Devils. It's a difference of being in the middle of the pack or the top two in the league. You want to have all the benefits of being top two in the league. Max is taking out a fourth mortgage on his house by affording these tickets, and he's hoping that the Devils don't get destroyed. Felix says, yep, definitely. Same with Max. You know, it is going to be, it's going to be something to watch because the Devils are concurrently developing while trying to win it for all. I think they're all in unofficially as well. I mean, when you get a Timo Meier on your roster, and the Devils gave up some, they didn't mortgage the future, thank goodness, but they did give up a lot. It's going to be something that a pleasure to watch them develop and concurrently try to go for all. Kind of reminds me of the Pittsburgh Penguins in 2008 when they made their appearance in the Stanley Cup Finals, only to lose to the Detroit Red Wings, but they learned a lot. Like I said earlier, a few weeks ago, that the longer the Devils stay in the playoffs, the better it is on the timeline of trying to get to the Stanley Cup Finals and actually winning it all. Shane Van Sickle says, we have 3 defensemen over 6'5". Yes, and don't forget about the goaltenders as well in net. Vanacek and Blackwood are pretty big guys. And I'll tell you, that's the beefalitics I'm talking about. If they can play the no-fun zone defense that I call it and keep that slot area clear, and if they can, and the goaltender can see the puck, the Devils are going to be fine on defense. But you know what's also really important, and this is the last thing, is puck possession. Puck possession is everything. That's what they did well against the New York Rangers. At times they were a little bit tentative, but you know what? When you keep the puck in the offensive zone, they can't score on you. And I mean that. And they got to be on the attack at all times. The Devils need to be on the attack at all times. Because if they are, they're playing great defense. The puck's on the other end of the ice. The only thing is the Devils I'm still concerned about is, if the puck bounces the wrong way or they get unlucky. If you remember that Dougie Hamilton, on that 3-on-3, and it just happened to bounce to the Minnesota Wild. They took it down and scored. That kind of stuff. But you're going to have to rely on your good goaltending as well. Max says, at Sam, if Luke Hughes doesn't work out, D, do you think we try him at wing? He has the skills of Jack and skating as well. You know what? To tell you the truth, I don't think it's a bad idea. And the only reason why I say that is Luke Hughes is bigger than Quinn and Jack. And Luke Hughes apparently is a better skater than his two older brothers. So, there were times where Scott Niedermayer would play wing. I don't know if Devils fans remember that in his younger days that, I don't know, was it Herb Brooks? I forgot who was the coach, but there were times that they would double shift Niedermayer, not often, but to play that wing just because of the speed and skill. And that wouldn't be a bad idea. At the same time, you don't want to put too much on Luke Hughes' plate. I mean, he's just coming out of college, coming in to the NHL. But, he does have the pedigree of looking up to his two older brothers that can help him out, especially when Jack is on his team. But, smooth skating, yep, Max, on the Scott Niedermayer reference. All right, going to get out of here, but I figured I'd sneak in a Woo report on this happy April Fool's Day. But you know what? Anything can happen this weekend. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. Also, I'm looking at the Twitter Live and Facebook Live. Going to be dropping the podcast in about 20 minutes. Dave Singer says, hello. Hello, Dave Singer. Happy Devils April Fool's Day Saturday to you, Dave Singer. Love seeing the regulars popping in early in the morning. I know it's early, but you know what? I figured get it out for your morning and afternoon commute today, wherever you are in the world. But yeah, it's going to be it's going to be a great weekend, folks. Also, Game Day Live, Devils After Dark, after the game, recapping the game that was. But yeah, I'm feeling good. Are you feeling good? Also, shout out to Peyton. She cleaned up all the Ranger Suck confetti after the game that was littered on the floors. I helped out, actually. I felt bad because I know American Whiskey gave me permission to do that, but, I swept up about 80% of it. But kudos to Peyton, the bartender over there. If you ever see her at American Whiskey, tip her well. She does a lot for the podcast, entertaining you, the fans, as well. Yeah, so I'm getting fired up for the playoffs. The playoffs. It's going to be great. Let's see here. Well, folks, going to hit the button. But we got the beef.
Hey, where's the beef?
We got the beef on defense and in goaltending right now. I never thought this day would happen, but we do. We do. And I'm going to hit the music. I got to get out of here. Shane Vinsickle. Did you use a rag to clean it up? You know what? That's not a bad idea. Use a Rangers jersey to clean up all the Rangers Suck confetti on the floor of a bar. Very nice, Shane. Very nice. Very nice. Oh, by the way, thank you for making us. I don't even know how other podcasts rank. There's a lot of other good Devils podcasts out there, but thank you. We had a record-breaking month. March 2023 surpassed January 2023 almost nearly just a shade under 40,000 downloads. The big 40,000 downloads. And I want to thank you all for that. This is not my podcast. This is our podcast. You guys make it fun, just like at American Whiskey at the last game, the VTech chants, and the Rangers suck chants, and the Let's Go Devils chants. We can't do it without you. It has been a pleasure and entertaining. And thank you. And remember our 500,000 party on February 25th? Well, right now we're at 560,000 downloads since then. 560,000 downloads since then. Oh, yeah, and the Sam Wu chants. Yes, thank you. And thank you to that person that gave me that pizza right before my cholesterol test yesterday at 9 a.m. Telling the nurse what happened. She didn't really believe me about fasting. Well, once I showed her the video, then she believed me then. Well, that's all for now. This is the Wu Report. Till next time, let's go Devils. See you at Game Day Live.